Does Hillary Clinton really want to see you locked up for exercising your First Amendment rights? I'm not totally sure, but let's see if we can get some clarity from this extremist of a Democrat's mouth. Let's take a listen.
Boosting Trump back in 2016, but I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
So yes, that appears to be exactly what she just said, that she wants to see us punished for utilizing our First Amendment rights, right? This bitter Betty named Hillary, who still seemed to be upset over having not won the 2016 presidential election bid that she ran for. She's still so pressed that she wants to violate our rights now and threaten our freedom if we so happen to disagree with our government, right? And she want to perpetuate all of this under the guise of misinformation. But the thing with misinformation is the gauge on which it's measured. And that gauge belongs to our government. So the government determine what's invaluable or worthless, right? What information is factual or false. It's only up to our government, she's saying. And that within itself is very conspiratorial, right? It definitely sounds very authoritarian, very extreme to me, right? And if we as a people continue to allow our government to sample the restricting of our rights, sooner than later, we are bound to find ourselves with absolutely no rights at all. And so what I've done in this video is I've conflated several different videos to kind of convey the fact or lend credibility toward the fact that I believe this country is headed for some form of dictatorship, authoritarian, or fascist leadership, right? This is a very frightening time. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm not using this as a fear tactic. I don't think fear should necessarily paralyze you or have you in some stagnant position. But I think maybe we should be frightened to the point that we do something because we're so afraid of what is to come if we don't act. So find your driving emotion, that beneficial emotion, whichever one it is, fear, anger, love, whatever it is that drive you, that emotion, find it and utilize it, because we should not continue to sit around and just allow our rights, our freedoms, our dignity even to be stripped away from us by our government, okay? So without any further postponement, we're going to go ahead and continue this video.
I intend to fight for Black Lives Matters. I intend to fight.
If Black Lives matter to her, why didn't I matter? My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick.
It's a very sharp stabbing pain, and it hurts a whole lot. Like from my chest all the way down, it hurts, including my side.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
When Kamala Harris was the California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I spent a majority of my time here at the hospital.
Kamala were aware of her condition and her absences were all excused.
In San Francisco, we threatened the parents of truants with prosecution, parents on notice. We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days.
Start prosecuting parents for truants.
Sent her off to school. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest. All of a sudden, the police is outside my house, and they started banging on the door. I opened up my door, and 2 officers entered my home. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. They said I was going to jail. I was shocked. I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
Then they handcuff me. So they take me outside for what you call a perp walk. And oh my God, the TV news was there, the newspapers were there. You could swear I had killed somebody. It was degrading and humiliating. I was taken to the Criminal Justice Center. They took my mugshot. I was fingerprinted like a criminal, and I was terrified.
And it felt like I caused her so much pain. Because in reality, it is because of me, even though I know it's not directly my fault.
You better thank a
Democrat.
You better thank
Democrat. Yeah, thanks a lot, Democrats. Specifically now, the Biden and Harris administration.
¿Dónde eres? ¿Venezuela?
Crossings. I mean, obviously, you've got, the United States has a crisis on its hands, but.
Jeff, it's interesting for all the focus on Texas when it comes to our immigration conversations. It's actually been Arizona that's had one of the busiest border sections across the country. So
to try to stop folks from illegally crossing. And it's interesting because having covered the border now for several months and going back even more than a year.
Harris promising Nevada voters that she will solve the problems at the southern border. Really?
It comes as the DHS works to downplay ICE data showing tens of thousands of illegal migrants with serious convictions are roaming free in our country.
Jackie Heinrich.
So here are a few clear and clean-cut examples of how American citizens are having their constitutional rights be violated for no other reason than the very fact that our U.S. government can do so and get away with it. Okay, look at the inundation of illegal immigrants that America's being taken over by. And mind you, all of this is happening under the Democratic Biden-Harris administration, with Kamala Harris being the border czar, meaning she's responsible for the border. That is her delegated duty that we could all pretty much agree that she's failed miserably at. So then why would we the people entertain the thought of giving her one of the most powerful leadership positions in the world when, again, she can't simply handle a border? Please, somebody help me understand that. And for the overly emotional people, let me just say this. Most people are not against others being given an opportunity to thrive, not at all. But the fact that we, the people, are being made to witness, to watch how our U.S. government is allowing these other people to do so and do so illegally, and there be no consequences, no repercussions that is being dished out to them. That, my friend, is a serious problem, especially when we hear our own political representatives, such as bitter Hillary, say things like, we the people should be locked up and or punished for simply exercising our very own constitutional rights as citizens. That's a problem. And anyone, I mean any American citizen that can't find a problem with that may very well need to do some serious self-reflecting. But wait, I've got more.
Well, a lot of people are calling it modern slavery. Does that feel right?
I was just about to say, that's slavery. That's slavery. You took away the whips, but you put the paperwork. Took away the masters and you put them in uniform.
To a McDonald's in Alabama, and the worker flipping your McDouble could be an incarcerated person.
It's a sad situation, a way they getting rich off us.
The Alabama Department of Corrections farms out incarcerated people to work at hundreds of private companies and government agencies across the state.
McDonald's, Burger King, Golden Corral, Wendy's. They got a Wendy's contract right now. State Trooper's office.
They'll send everybody everywhere.
They'll send you everywhere. Yes, the parole office.
And even though ADOC trusts these incarcerated people to leave prison every day and work alongside the general public, many of them are still denied the chance at real freedom.
I work for y'all, but when I come up for parole, you deny me. Why would you deny me? Because you're getting free service.
This is a story about corporations and the state of Alabama exploiting prison labor and the coercive policies they use to keep its citizens trapped in servitude.
It doesn't work. It's a terrible system.
If you're wondering how any of this is even legal, well, it might not be. That's what we went to Alabama to figure out.
So pretty much all of this is being carried out right now within what many would call is the greatest country on earth. But what I say to that is simply America wears the greatest mask of all. Our government is rogue, unfair, unjust, and in many cases just as diabolical as any third world country, okay? And for those reasons and many other reasons that are clear, present, and very dangerous, I say America's headed for a total and complete authoritarian leadership if we the people are not mindful of what's really going on. So I'm going to conclude this video now by saying, please pay attention and be mindful of what's going on around you. I am going to be doing a part 2 of this video because I really don't want this video long and drawn out, but there are so many more pieces of the puzzle that we're going to talk about, starting with the case of Marcellus Williams, the innocent man that was wrongfully convicted and inhumanely executed for a crime that all the evidence pointed toward, if not, downright just proved he was not guilty, and that his case was grossly mishandled, and yet and still this innocent man was executed. We are also going to see a video that some people believe is part of the reason why the government is now going after Sean Diddy Combs for some political statements that he had made. And yes, we do know and understand that he's tied up in some litigations with a major liquor company, right? So this is not to justify nor excuse anything that he's being alleged of, okay? But this is to maybe broaden our lens a little. We're also going to briefly speak about the young lady from Georgia, okay? The 28-year-old Amber Thurman that died because she was denied a life-saving medical abortion due to the state's restrictive laws, okay? And yes, this list just really goes on and on and on. So we're going to end it here. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and hit that like button. Do consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate everyone so much. And until next time, keep it peaceful.